One sec, one sec. Let's see. What the fuck? Is there Wit? Let me add Wit in there. Where's Wit? There's Wit.
Just fucking hanging out like I'm not part of the crew. Like I got to pay admission to get in. You know.
No, my bad. I'm looking at other stuff.
I started.
He's done that to me, man. You sit in that waiting room for a while. It's like you're in the room waiting to be let on, like it's a game show or something.
That's like an awkward. Like, are we on Nickelodeon or what's going on?
Yeah.
You know. I'm just sitting here, just repping the America's fucking team. There was no bets I liked on base. Are we live? Are we live?
Oh, we're live. We're live. If there's anything, we're live right now. So we'll go ahead and run that.
Where's CJ?
Yo, what is up, everyone? This is the BCS After Hours Show, hashtag BCS Nation, talking about everything March Madness, NBA playoffs, debates, trivia, anything you guys want. MLB started today a little bit. Got a lot of action in that. I know Whit was mad that I didn't post this video, but bro, no, I mean I saw the pick hit and the Dodgers destroyed him, but I got off work a little late and I couldn't necessarily put it all together.
You guys aren't on break?
Huh?
You're not on break, huh?
No. So I started a new job in the school district. So we had our spring break last week, but today, you know, I'm getting off at like 3:30 and stuff, and then I got to go run a couple errands. But so I couldn't get everything out, so I had to come home, smash the video real quick. I didn't even get to upload your video. The only two plays that I got to do was UNC -4.5 and the under, and then I couldn't even get Wits out because I had to just leave. But
for the record, for the people, I did have UConn. For the record,
yeah,
won by 30. I did have UConn as well. People,
I had UConn and I gave them the 11.5 and they won by 30. So yeah. And I'm down here in San Diego, and you know, for the vibe and what I want for the rest of the tournament and my next couple weeks, I wanted San Diego State to win, but money is what money is, and you know, it's 75% cotton and 25% linen, you know, so it's not all about the paper.
No, that's facts. That's
it's definitely about the fabric.
No, it's true. I told so ZJ's out on assignment right now, boots on ground. He's working his way into the house. So, you know, we'll see him whenever we see him. I don't know. I don't really want to see him, to be honest with you.
Oh,
with all the bullshit that he was telling me last night, I was gonna throw him through this drywall. What happened? We'll go ahead.
I don't want to give between like a married couple, but I think this is the best way to get between a married couple when it's like, hey, I got you in separate rooms and I can hear different stories. When you're all in the same net, it gets to the point where it's like maybe you guys are like conceding to one another, but right now we can hear Sach unfiltered, and maybe we get DJ on another podcast, maybe Club Shay Shay or something.
Yeah, because he won't let me talk, and he don't ever let me talk. But so we were talking about, to start it off, we were talking about Steph Curry and Nikola Jokic, and ZJ was telling me that Jokic is better than Steph Curry all time in NBA rankings because he won last year, and he's gonna win this year, and he's gonna win next year. And he told me, what does Steph Curry do better than Jokic? That's what he told me. This is what he told me. He said, Jokic does everything better than Steph Curry but shooting. So I want you guys to go ahead and say, because ZJ said that Kevin Durant carried Steph to 2 rings, but I told him Steph Curry won 2 rings without him, before and after.
Yeah.
So I was arguing with him because he said Jokic does better everything than Steph Curry, and he said that the Nuggets are a dynasty. That's what he told me. He said the Nuggets are a dynasty.
So I'll
let Whit go ahead and take it over.
No, I'll let Eric, because ZJ always gives him the 1-2 back to me. So Eric deserves as much time on this show as he can get, and he's an older statesman, and I always concede to my elders. I got my own opinions.
Yeah. So just looking at the stats, he's not right. Points, of course, goes to Curry. Rebounds to Joker. Joker beats him by 0.5 an assist. But all that is, to me, is nonsense, right? Look, this is a sports show. It's a gambling show. And you're saying right now, hey, you had a choice to lay Curry or Joker, best careers, best players, where they rank. Curry's got 4 rings to 1. He hasn't even gotten his second one yet. Let's slow that down. Like, anything can happen, right? It's hard to get a ring. He's going to get, and if he gets 3 more, all he's going to do is tie him.
Yeah.
Right? I told him.
And let's not even with the free agent coming in.
ZJ kept saying ZJ kept saying rings as in plural. ZJ kept using the word plural as in rings. And I said, bro, he just won 1 last year and he's 29.
Correct. So, just off the basics there, I'll always go with the rings because it's already been won. This is in my bank. This is in my pocket. His is all banking on a future that you have no idea what's going to be. He's a big man. He can get hurt. He can slow down. He doesn't really, I don't want to say it that way, but we know his true passion isn't for basketball, right? Basketball is a means. He feeds his family. He does stuff, but he loves his horses. He loves the horses. He loves that farm life. Is he going to play 10 years? And can, like, what big man goes 20 years? You know what I'm saying? At that level he's in. I think he's at his step now. But the shot ball, 3 titles coming up, man, that's ballsy to say they're going to win the next 3 years. But go ahead, Wade.
So I'm gonna veer away from sports a little bit. This sounds like a man who's been in some toxic relationships, or dare I say toxic? I say has never had a healthy relationship. Because here's the deal: the man lives in Colorado. Up until Elway's back-to-back 97-98 titles against Green Bay, and I forget who they beat in the second one, but they didn't have many titles, right? They didn't. You could count the Avs, whatever. I don't have that history prior to there. The Rockies went to the series. They got swept. Basketball, they've never won until last year. So this is a man who's like, this is the greatest sensation I've ever had from a sports relationship. So he's right now, he's in the honeymoon stage of, oh my God, this could be my forever. Just like we were in with the Warriors, that we're still having great times, but there's more hard times than great times now. But Curry is in his 15th year. What's Joker in? Just spit it out there for me. But when you look at that and you look at Steph Curry is being talked about as not just one of the top 10 to 15 players of all time. He's being hoisted upon or ahead of Magic and Isaiah at times with people, right? So Joker's in year 5. So he's 33% what Steph has done. Steph has revolutionized the game. Steph has won 4 titles. Steph has lost 2 titles, one with a very injured team, so probably would have had 5. So when you look at it, I think we love Zach. We love him because Zach is this disillusional 6'5" monster that at times he's like not too smart, strong like bull fucking guy. But he's genuine, he's authentic, and I think he speaks from his heart. But at times you got to pull the big guy out of the bar and say, hey, you're too drunk to fight, even though you probably take him sober. And that's what we're doing here. He's going to hurt himself with this argument, not just with us, but with the American public. You know what I mean? And look, Joker is great, and he's on his way to great. But here's the thing. I looked at a stat today. So in, 2017, the Kings could have drafted Luka. They did not because there were some ownership issues with the dad. Luka's 25 years old. Now, I didn't know Luka was that old, but is Luka not the oldest, most out of shape 25-year-old you know? And Luka is one ACL away from being, hey, how many more years do I have in front of me? Now, his basketball IQ is good, but if he cannot score at the rate he scores, is he there? Joker's no different. And Joker plays a position where he has to get the ball, not give the ball. There's a difference. Curry has been doing Reggie Miller shit at a higher level than Reggie Miller. And the dude is just different. To say you could cut and just score at that pace at his size in this era, like, dude, with no, like, he's got lower extremity ankle injuries, hasn't had them in a long time, but he doesn't have a knee injury. 15 years playing like that. Yeah. Like, I love ZJ, but ZJ, you're I feel like I'm the guy, or we're the people that are going to have to talk you out of a relationship that's going too good, but you're the only one that can't see that there's some really bad parts of
it. And Sach, I'm not firing at you, but I'm going to fire at you a little bit. Right? Here's the problem with the ZJ types. Denver, and I'm exaggerating a little bit. Right now, Denver's kind of like America's team in the sense that there's no villains on the team. Like, everybody kind of likes the team. Everyone loves Joker. He plays hard. He does about his business. They're balling. And then you got to deal with the fans. And you got to deal with a ZJ coming in with statements like this, which make you root against a team like the Nuggets, who otherwise you'd be like, hey, it'd be cool to see him win too. It'd be cool to see him win.
I like the Nuggets. Right? I like the Nuggets.
And yeah, so I was saying where your piece falls in, it's week one, and the Cowboys beat the Panthers, and all of a sudden Cowboy fans are like, we're back.
No, I'm not like
that. To Tampa. I'm not you, but you know how it is with the fans. That's where ZJ comes in with this fandom thing. The Nuggets in general are a great team. People enjoy them. They do things right. They bust their ass. And then you got to hear that. Steph, he's top 10. Like, all time.
Solidified.
You know what I mean? There's people who argue generationally, he's better than LeBron. Generation. I'm saying there's arguments out there. And you look at titles and other things. And so Joker's not in those conversations. He's the best big man, but it's not there. And I guess to end it, the question you posed us is, who would I rather have? I'm going with the sure bet, because Steph already has money in the bank. You got to bank on everything going right for 3 more years just to tie Steph. And that's that he doesn't somehow catch magic in a bottle with these young guys coming up in the next 2 years again.
And where he becomes
free agents up.
He becomes a Ray Allen guy, or like, and that dude can play 21 years if he desires, because I think he's not going to not stop shooting the rock, right? And I would also look at what's the franchise's estimated worth since Steph got there versus when he when he leaves, versus the Nuggets with Joker. So there's value depending on how you, and that's where I think he's looking at his value. I'm not going to say he looks 3 and 4 layers deep, but look, we love ZJ, but he's a homer. He dates girls from his hometown. He goes to Miami. He has a fling, but he's only looking to settle down with people from his own town. And I think that in itself boxes him into his own naive mind. And I don't know what he's doing now. If he's doing lunges or hip thrusts or maybe he's, unloading Joker's luggage. I don't know. Maybe he's giving a motivational speech to CU's basketball team before they go on summer break. We don't know what CJ's doing right now. But what we do know is he's not thinking straight in this rationale.
Yep. And I tell him all the time. I'm like, ZJ, the Nuggets are great. The Nuggets have won 1 championship. It takes a lot to win 2. It takes a lot to win 3. It takes a lot to win 4. And he's talking about Jokic. Go ahead.
Other than ZJ, nobody can see the future or the what would have happened in the past. But an argument can be made, if not for your dumbass Draymond Green getting suspended, you'd have 5 titles. if he didn't want to kick people in the nuts.
Yeah. Agree.
Because you would have beat Cleveland, and you would have beaten Cleveland, and then you're sitting on 5, and then this is just like it's a mute conversation, you know.
Sports is about a bunch of ifs. NBA is about a bunch of ifs. The ifs don't really matter. At the end of the day, no one's gonna go back and say if this, if that. You either win or you don't. And ZJ was saying if they had Jamal Murray last year, they would have beat the Warriors.
Okay.
But I was telling ZJ, I was like, ZJ, when the Warriors won the title, they went through Nikola Jokic. I don't know if you remember that. I don't know if you just disregarded that.
Yeah.
And then his number one argument was, oh, they didn't have Jamal Murray. But I could say that about the Toronto Raptors Golden State Warriors finals if we had Clay, if we had Durant. There's a bunch of things that we can do. But at the end of the day, Jokic didn't carry any of these teams to a title without Jamal Murray. And I don't blame him because his team wasn't that good. But that's only an if. That's only an if.
I'll get my trivia out the way. How many titles did Isaiah win?
What do you win? 3? 2? 2 or 3? 2.
How many titles did Bird win?
4?
3.
3.
How many titles did Magic win? And this is the real question, right?
5. He won 5.
5. So Jordan won to win 6, right? Dude, we're talking about Curry at 4. LeBron is at what, 5?
4.
4. So they're both at 4. Who ate during Jordan's time? No one once he was there.
No.
You could say the first 8 years.
The Pistons and the fucking Celtics and Lakers beat his ass all the time. Until he went on that 3-peat, they beat his ass a lot.
You're on mute, Eric. You're on mute.
They beat him a lot.
You're on mute.
I was just saying until they didn't. And they physically beat his ass, but until they didn't.
Jordan's the number one undisputed.
Until they didn't.
But when you look at Michael Jordan and he won 6-0, why did he only go to 6? That's the only thing. Why didn't he go to more? I don't know. He couldn't go.
Why do you mean? What I'm saying is he's talking about a guy who won 1.
Yeah,
and he's saying he's greater than a guy who won 4, regardless of who your teams are. We can go to the MJ debate, and what I'll tell you is, bro, dude, look at those teams. The first 3 years were drug-ridden. Dude, look at his rosters until, like, Pippen came. Look at his rosters until they actually got – that was a franchise that was one of the worst franchises, the laughingstock of the NBA.
And what was LeBron? What did LeBron take over? LeBron took over the worst team by far.
Oh, the worst team. Jordan revolutionized the franchise. His mentality.
What did LeBron do? LeBron revolutionized the whole Cavaliers.
He did. And
you're changing the goalposts, and they're both great players, right? But let's leave it at that. I mean, now you're trying to rank those two. LeBron doesn't even have 2 rings if you didn't come up with the magical playing game. They didn't even qualify.
Oh, come on!
He had to create a playing game. Oh, here goes the fella. Oh, come on! Here we go.
His last ring was during the bubble. His last ring was during the bubble. There's no playing game.
Now making it now, and the commissioner's talking about letting him win.
There was no playing game when he won his last one. There was no playing game. Huh?
Bubble got an asterisk. No, but there was playing game.
No,
he has made it with the playing game. He wouldn't have been in the turn. I got to get up on the
side. I love you and Whit. I love you guys. But the bubble is a legit ring because you look at the players who played better in the bubble. You had TJ Warren looking like he was prime Michael Jordan. You had TJ Warren looking
I take that statement.
You had both.
I take that
you had
back.
both Bogdanovich on the Hawks looking like he was prime Michael Jordan. When you played basketball, I played college basketball, and I'm just stating from what I know.
Take it back, Eric.
I take it back. Because it was COVID, right? It wasn't his fault. The bubble was a thing, and they won. So I take it back. He did win in the bubble.
If Michael Jordan won a bubble type ring, it would have been the hardest ring ever. I already know. No,
I just got done saying. I just gave you. You're not listening. I just gave you that point. I said I take it back. His bubble wing, it's legit. I take it back.
I'm not in a LeBron Jordan conversation because I think what that comes down to, number one, I'm a Dodger fan. They won the COVID year, and I still want to see them win a title. I look at that, I'm like, we're World Series champ 2020, but I still want to see them go through 162, play in their home stadium, play World Series games in Stadium, their stadium, and fucking go. But I think when you get into LeBron Jordan, which not what I'm trying to get to, because Jordan will always be my favorite, and the reason is because the mentality, the way he did it. There's a lot of things Jordan did that I don't agree with, but I just think that whereas LeBron, the stats to this, to that, I don't think he has the mentality. As much as I didn't like or care for Kobe, it was almost like Tom Brady in his last 3 or 4 years where I started to turn the TV on and watch Kobe just because I don't know when I'm going to see this again. And I think we've been blessed enough, definitely me and Eric, to see some of the greatest sports athletes of all time and the runs of all time. Who? Like, if you look, let's just start when we were born, man. You got Montana. We saw Brady. We saw Kobe. We saw MJ. We saw, Ripken break the all-time Ironman record. We saw the Yankees we saw the Braves that should have won more than one. We saw.
I mean, I'm old head, but I can remember seeing Ali fight on ABC.
Tiger Woods.
Now all those guys suck just because they're not.
No. All those guys
are in the last 30 years.
No, all those guys are unanimously the greats.
No, what I'm saying is, I feel like Gen X or what Eric is got to see some great. You guys are going to see great things too, but what I don't think you'll see, I just don't think you'll see it, and I think it's because of the loyalty. I think it's the loyalty, and I think it's also the absolute I'm going to try to don't try to outdo good sometimes. Like, I think sometimes I'm going to outdo good. I like it here, but there's better. It's like loyalty matters, and you won't see the runs that they went on because loyalty didn't matter. Kobe played 20 years for the Lakers. He had some tough ass years in there where they were garbage, and
Kobe was trash for his first 2 years. He was awful. He wasn't that good.
Well, he came in the league. But could you imagine 17 to 20 years old? He was like one of the first high school players ever. And he's 6
Remember he shot those air balls in the playoffs?
He shot the air balls. He's in the gym. Kobe was shooting air balls.
Yeah. But I think what you could say is the guy bounced back. And I don't know that there's a lot
he manned up. Yeah, he
manned up. You know what I'm interested to see? I'm interested to see Ja Morant's a lot of self-inflicted stuff off the court. Kobe had a lot of self-inflicted stuff on the court. What's Ja Morant going to do? What's he going to accomplish?
I'm not a big Ja Morant guy.
Okay, so we can take it separate. Like, there's a lot of players out there that are self-inflicting harm to themselves, and they feel like they're not getting their due. It's like, what are you doing to yourself? Like, I give LeBron his due. LeBron, I don't believe him. I don't like LeBron or what I've seen of his. I don't want to say politics. I would say about that.
But Whit, you want to concentrate on all of his other stuff. Yeah. I just want to concentrate on hooping. That's it.
I think he's good. I love it.
My son and I have this argument once a week, right? He's a LeBron fan. And I don't understand with LeBron fans why Michael and LeBron can't be great. LeBron has to be one. There can't be no Jordan. There can't be anybody else. It has to be LeBron one. Yeah. And it's just they're both great. They'll never play each other. The
only thing that I'll say is when it comes to LeBron and MJ, the MJ stan fan base says that LeBron couldn't do that in the 90s, the 80s.
I never said that.
No. I'm not saying you. I'm saying the fan base.
I agree with you, but LeBron's built like Karl Malone. He would have did just fine
LeBron would have done. Yeah, LeBron would have done
a great thing. Yeah, Michael would be okay in this one. It's just let them both be. They could be there. But I'll say this: Joker's not at either of their levels.
No, Jokic isn't
where we started with.
Jokic isn't fucking nowhere near. Yeah. Jokic has a lot of time to go, and that's what I told ZJ. Jokic won one. It's recency bias. I think that everyone forgets that before the Nuggets won, who won? Steph Curry won. The Warriors had a bunch of bad years. 2 bad years before that.
So
before they won the title, and everyone was counting them out. Everyone was counting them out. And Steph Curry took Andrew Wiggins, who everyone counted out. Everyone wanted to say Andrew Wiggins wasn't this, he wasn't that. That's why the Timberwolves got rid of him.
He was an improvement. He's a Canadian. He lacks a little heart, and he was an improvement year that year, and he hasn't done shit since. He's a good wing defender. He's a solid 4 guy, but he's not.
And why was he good that year? Steph Curry had a whole year to play with him, prep with him.
No,
Draymond Green.
Hey, back to your LeBron. How many times? So LeBron's played how many seasons now, Mr. LeBron?
I don't know, probably 30, 40, 50. Who knows? He's probably fucking 40 years old.
He's in season 20.
He's like
21, I think. Season 20.
How many times has he played 82 games?
But who cares about that? Nobody.
Answer the question.
If MJ played today, he wouldn't play all 82. He wouldn't do that like he did last year.
Answer the question.
But it don't matter though.
1.
How many times did LeBron quit and retire and take a year off to rest?
Bruh, a lot of years.
I mean, fuck.
technically, rumor has it he was suspended.
MJ took a whole year off. I mean, LeBron would come back like an animal if he took a whole year.
Jordan played 82 games 9 times.
Because he took 2 years off. He took like a break
He
in
took
between
a season
everything.
and a half off. And why did he take it off? They went into strike.
No,
Yes.
because he
Yes.
was gambling, and I'm not even going to get into that. He was doing whatever he wanted to do, and he wanted to quit. And he wanted to go play baseball with the White Sox, and that's fine.
LeBron has never stayed on a team. This will be the first year he's ever stayed on a team where he couldn't go change it, revolutionize, or go somewhere else. If you count the Hall of Famers he has played with, they will double 2 hands full what Jordan played with.
How many Hall of Famers?
Oh, you want it? Kyrie, Hall of Fame. All right. Antoine Jameson.
He's going to be a Hall of Famer, but what has Kyrie done without him? Nothing. Not anything. Not one thing.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying I'm not a Kyrie guy. I think Kyrie is one of the most gifted waste of talent ever. Like, I just think
you can't say Kyrie did that all for LeBron. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, LeBron was the one who pioneered that whole team. LeBron led the whole finals in
LeBron left and came back. So if you look pre-Kyrie, he played with Antoine Jameson, Hall of Famer.
I would leave too if the organization wasn't doing anything. If the organization wasn't doing anything, I would have left to Miami too.
Dude, they were the Eastern.
I mean, that's essentially what Michael Jordan did. Michael Jordan quit on his whole team. Michael Jordan quit on his whole team and just left.
How?
Left.
He won 3 titles, bro, before he was like, hey, man.
And then what did he do after the third one? What did he do after the third one?
And his dad died, bro. Like, here's the thing.
LeBron didn't have a dad.
LeBron went, oh, here we go with I don't have a dad. Either do
He
I.
did not
I should be
have
on
a
the
dad. Where
podcast.
did
You
LeBron
know
grow
what?
up?
You should
LeBron
watch
didn't
me
grow
else.
up
I didn't have a daddy either.
LeBron
I
didn't
should
grow
be on
up
the
in
podcast.
LeBron didn't grow up in all this stuff where he could just go and just learn. Like, LeBron grew up in the slums too. No matter what,
slums?
LeBron grew up in the slums.
I grew up in the slums. I never had a Hummer in high school. Oh, we don't want to talk about that.
Because LeBron, nobody was LeBron in high school. There was no LeBron.
The quarterback
Michael Jordan couldn't
has come to take control.
Michael Jordan couldn't even make the fucking sophomore team in high school. That's why he
Get
wasn't
them together,
LeBron.
ZJ. Get them together.
Here we go.
What is going on, world? This is the BCS After Hours edition. The fellas are in here keeping it wild. As you can see, we got some live arguments going on. I know I got Sach in a blender right now, but boys in here feeling nice, feeling mighty, guys. We are live tonight on YouTube, Twitch, X, as well as Instagram on all of the accounts you want to see. And we are going crazy right now with the March Madness tournament. Some big plays out. I know E had some nice zingers in there, as well as I will give you my unit play for tomorrow's tournament. But what is going on, world? How are we doing? How are we feeling? What is going on? Is ZJ am I delusional? We'll find out next. How are we doing, guys? How's everyone feeling this BCS After Hours edition? We are back, locked and loaded. Just a quick around the room real quick. How are the fellas doing? And I know I'm joining late. Watch how I'm feeling.
Triggered.
We're feeling good. We're feeling good. I don't know what. I don't know what's been going on, but we're feeling great.
Whit, how we doing, Whit? Dodgers jersey, Whit.
Hey, so I didn't like any picks today. The only pick that was at -110 or better was the Padres Giants. The Padres obviously won that money line. Everything else was -130 or greater. Very unpredictable time. I know E laid some bets on the Orioles. I think the Orioles are going to be great this year. I think they're going to be very good. I think that division is going to be very interesting with the Yankees, Boston, and the Orioles. But I think there's a lot of run spread there. I think there's some pitching, over-unders, strikeout over-unders. But I'll be honest, I'm feeling good. I know Sasha's triggered. I don't know if our friendship took a hit, but, man, it's almost like we got into some political debate and we didn't realize we're on different sides of the aisle. Hoping to patch it up on a private text after this, maybe a phone call, update you next week. But we're Warriors fans, but, man, I didn't know we had this, like I tell people, every friendship, everything's going to hit the ditch. You just got to make sure you got enough speed to get on the other side. And I hope Sach has that throttle down, you know what I mean? Because we're going to need some speed after some of the things he said that, I got thick skin, but, man, he did what he did, and he said what he said.
Of course, Big E in the house. Haven't heard from E yet. The man himself, E. How you feeling tonight, my friend?
Outstanding, great. Watching that goalpost move all over the place, and it's like I'll do a shay here. It's like my grandma always said: when two elephants fight, only the grass lose. And you guys are the grass tonight. Don't let that get you. Don't let these debates get you down. We're here. We're a team. We're a squad. Let's go with it.
I was running into the studio a little late. I could just hear the yelling from across the hall. Sounded like you guys were getting into it, though. Real quick, just want to throw this out there. Now that you guys have kind of shooken it down and everything, just want to throw out what was said last night. That's right, what was actually said last night. And the main things are, before we even get into this, I just want to mention that Steph was throwing Steph better than Kobe, which I couldn't believe. I thought that was asinine. Secondly, what I said 2 things last night. All I said was 2 things, and I'll reiterate them right here, right now. I said all-around basketball player who better, Curry or Jokic, threw that out there. All categories. I was talking about everything. Put rings aside, all-around basketball player. And then my second one was when it's all said and done, Jokic will be in that conversation. I never threw out there that he's better right now. That'd be the craziest thing to say.
You literally said that he was better right now. How could you sit here and say that?
2 topics. I said all-around basketball player, and I said when it's all said and done, Jokic will be in that conversation is what I said. But there you go.
Top right.
And yes, Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player to ever step foot on this earth. Now that we got that, we'll hop back into that real quick, guys. We are live right now. Cool thing tonight is we are live on Instagram as well. We just added Instagram to the lives. Gonna definitely get some more traction for you guys. Yeah, yep. He's been riding hard on these NBA March Madness games. He's been rocking, absolutely killing it. And we're going to keep doing it tomorrow as well. Still some night games tonight, guys. Kind of what are we expecting with 2 last night games to finish us off? And what have we seen so far with everything? Obviously, UConn, right? Crust, San Diego State. I know Whit wanted the other side and everything just because he's there right now. What did we think about the Clemson one too, though? And then go ahead. We'll go to the room real quick. So we'll start with Sach.
Yeah, I mean, Arizona has one of my good friends, Santos, is a good Arizona fan, diehard, his whole family. He told me before the game, he was like, this is where the Arizona Wildcats fold. And they usually do fold. Ever since Sean Miller left, they usually fold in the Sweet 16. Even with him, they were folded in the Sweet 16 Elite 8 when they were a high projected pick. Caleb Love is pretty much all they had over there. And if he's not going to score 30+, they're not really worth a damn. And, I mean, it was tough to see. Clemson's a hard team, hard-fought team. They come out the gates firing right away, up 16-6 to start the game. And Arizona, the way that they play, they're not built to really come back. They're not really built to come back down by 10, down by 8, down by 12. So as that game unfolded, they just didn't really have it in them. And Clemson was a team that we kind of have been hot on ever since the first 2 rounds. We all have been kind of hot on them, telling the public that we were kind of riding with them. We didn't really feel strong in the Wildcats, but that game didn't really shock me at all. The UConn game is where people kind of got caught up in the San Diego State, taking them plus 11.5. E said it best on his pick that UConn is just blowing everyone out. Hasn't lost the game by 20 points, so that really didn't surprise me at all either. So UConn's just the juggernaut right now. They're blowing out everyone, and that's pretty much all I got to say about that.
Yeah, UConn is after today, they're 9-0 against the spread the last 2 years now in the tournament. Not just winning, but that's against the spread. I mean, you gotta ride a streak, right? And that's all we're doing.
Yeah, I had UConn put it out there. I don't know, technical difficulties, with a double-digit spread. You'll never see Witt take a double-digit spread, but I took it today. I thought UConn would cover the 11.5. I had the Dodgers at minus 1.5. I thought they would cover. They did. I don't know, man. This North Carolina's dogfight. I think Clemson has been what they are. I agree with Sach, that they don't have love. They don't have a team. They have players, right? And I don't think it's a team. And I think when you get down to it, I think that's what you're going to see. And I'll move to tomorrow's late game. I think that's what you're going to see with Creighton and Tennessee. Not to say that that's going to be a blowout like UConn or like, say some of these other teams. But what I will say is I think Creighton, if it gets down to possession basketball and it's close, and I think that's why the spread is minus 2.5 Tennessee, is I think you'll see Creighton will execute. And Big East basketball is just different than SEC and some of these other Mountain West, where they have 8 to 12 of these high-intensity games, whereas some of these other conferences have. And we're going to get up for our rival, and the rest games will walk through this and we'll play. So I'm excited about that late game tomorrow. I think Creighton's going to win money line. If I was to bet, I'd take the points, obviously minus 2.5, but I like Creighton to win that game over Tennessee, just athleticism versus execution. The other one is interesting is the NC State game. I think they rose to plus 6.5. I think that's going to be an interesting one. They've been hot, but I think probably the buck stops there. And then the Gonzaga Purdue game. You got another one. You got a player, and then you have a team with great coaching. And so that'll be interesting to see if Gonzaga can do what they do. But yeah, man, UConn. I didn't think they'd win by 30, but I thought they'd double them up. I thought they'd win by 20. So happy to see it, and they're the team to beat. I got them winning it all.
Yeah. So if you remember, like when we did our bracket show, we talked about it. The first 2 rounds are usually your upsets. It's a lot of fucking wackadoodleness and craziness. You get into this week, things settle down. And besides San Diego State, there are no other double-digit underdogs this week. As Whit was saying, you look at tomorrow. You got Creighton plus 4, Duke plus 4. You got Gonzaga plus 6. These are close games. These are good teams, and styles make fights. We all heard that, right? And that's what's going on now with Iowa State, Illinois. You got the number 1 scoring team in this tournament up against the top defense in Iowa State. And right now, at least offense is winning. But that's what that's why to me, this is so great, because to Whit's point, different conferences have different styles. The first 2 rounds, Big East, ACC went undefeated. Mountain West didn't show up too well. Neither did the SEC. That doesn't mean they're bad conferences. They just had bad runs, So it's kind of good now to see these styles and we're matching them up. It's kind of like fantasy league where you can just put different stuff together. So I'm just excited for this whole weekend because, man, the potential what's going to be out here. And then with Illinois or Iowa State getting UConn, let's see what comes out of that. That's going to be their first test. And I got to apologize to the nation because I thought UConn had the toughest quadrant. And yeah, they're just going through this shit like a hot knife through butter. So doesn't mean that they're going to continue that, but right now, my gosh, they're firing on all cylinders. So, what
Well,
do you got, TJ?
I think the thing to look at is when does UConn get a test and how do they respond?
It's going to have to be this Illinois Iowa State winner. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but that's your 2, that's your 3 seed. That's where it's at. You had earlier upsets, Auburn, these others that made their path a little bit easier. But I don't think America was thinking San Diego State was going to shock the world today. You know what I mean? That's just not it. Northwestern, I don't know.
No,
it'd be good.
So I was sitting at a San Diego State bar, and it was live in there. Don't get me wrong. And my son said, I think they'll keep it close first half, but I think there's there. And I sat there and I specifically sat back and had my Coors Lights. It was very cold, very delicious, and I did not get in any debates. But what I did say towards the second half, they were like, the San Diego State fans were saying they're not hustling. I said, there's a difference between hustling. There's a talent gap here. There's a significant talent gap there. And these guys were in complete denial. And if you go back and look at that game tape, it's not about loose balls or hustling. San Diego State cannot get their own shot. They cannot break down anyone off the dribble. They can't shoot outside. And it was a talent gap. And I thought they'd win by 20. They won by 30. I didn't see 30. I saw 18-24, 100%. But it's just the dysfunction of what's going on. And so when I was sitting there, it was reminiscent of ZJ talking about the state of Colorado and any athletics that reside in there.
I'll just add. So yeah, obviously, guys, UConn did what we expected them to do. They're the number 1 for a reason. They're going to be a tough team to beat. They just still complexity and all and everything. They're just that complete team. And that's kind of what we've been talking about the past couple episodes. Tell you what, though, man, Clemson really surprised me. And we kind of mentioned this in the last vid, how we haven't really talked about Clemson a whole lot in this whole tournament. But, they're starting to wake up at the right time. They got some good shooters on their team, which I really love. I'll tell you the one thing, though, that with this whole Arizona-Clemson game, Arizona just got completely outcoached. They got completely outcoached. Shot selection was terrible. Watching some of these shots go up, I couldn't even believe it. And that just goes to show in this tournament, you got to just make the right plays. It's all or never. You get one game to do this, and you got to execute. And Clemson really came in and just executed. So going to see what they can do next. Obviously, we got some good ones tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to watching that Duke Gonzaga game. I think that one's going to be really good. That's going to be a good test for Duke. And then
Duke got Houston.
I'm sorry. Purdue Gonzaga is what I meant to say. That one interests me because now I think Purdue has a little bit more of a challenge because kind of what Eric was saying with UConn, how UConn's kind of rolled everyone. That's the same story over there with Purdue. Same type of thing. They're just blowing teams out of the water. Now we get to kind of match up with a little bit of a seasoned team, seasoned head coach. We'll see what happens. And then, of course, and he knows this, I'm all in on this NC State game. I love it. That's actually my big unit play of the day tomorrow. NC State plus 6.5, ladies and gents, is what ZJ's money will be on tomorrow. I know Sach is probably going to sprinkle some stuff with that one as well. I like hot teams at the right time. In this tournament, you really find out just who has more confidence, who has more leadership, and who's executing here. And I think NC State has done that pretty dang well. And then we kind of talk about it. Marquette didn't really shock me when they played CU. I didn't really see anything special. And I know you guys will add on to this and whatnot. But again, my answer there is DJ Burns. I mean, the guy's a stud. I think he's, again, an underrated center. I think so far in the tournament, he's been the best center in the tournament. That's just me. But some interesting stuff. This Illinois-Iowa State game tonight, though, is very interesting. Like E said, the better offense is getting to it. So that's interesting as well. But to what E said again, it's going to be tighter here in this tournament now that we're starting to break off, heading towards the Elite Eight and whatnot. Games are going to be a lot closer. We'll see what happens. For the Bet Champ Show, this is where we got to find the trends, which ones we like the best as we send out to all the viewers and listeners play-wise. But I think we've been rocking and rolling so far. And yeah, what I guess while we go around, what's your like top game to watch tomorrow? What are you looking at? Do you anything play-wise for the fellas tomorrow you're looking at? I know you don't have to post them till tomorrow, but at the moment, what we got, Sach?
I mean, I still got NC State. Obviously, the plus 6.5. You can get them tomorrow at about plus 7.5. You want to play a little more juice, but I mean, Marquette, like we've been saying, they just really didn't surprise me with the big physical threat down low with Lampkin. And DJ Burns is obviously the guy that makes that offense go. The books, like ZJ said last night, they haven't really been able to handicap NC State at all. They've been at plus 6.5, 7.5 the whole tournament, and they've won outright. So I think this is another opportunity to get a team that hasn't really showed much. Marquette's supposed to be the 2 seed in the tournament, and I mean, without that point guard, I forget his name, but without that point guard that was dicing up CU, they probably wouldn't have won the game.
5 through 8. They're 5 through 8, like in the rank. They're 8th in the rankings when the season ended, right? So they're 8th team in the nation. So they're at 2-3, but I get what you're saying though with it.
Yeah, they're
like
2 seed in the tournament, but they don't look like a 2 seed. I'm being completely honest; they don't really look like a 2 seed in the tournament. NC State is a hot team. Bunch of seniors, bunch of juniors. Both teams don't want to go home, but I just can't really fathom a pick of going against NC State. I completely don't understand it. And I know you can go both ways. Bunch of things can happen, but with the way that NC State's been playing and DJ Burns, I just don't see an answer. And I think DJ had 20 and 10 last game, not really getting off to a hot start. So that's my play of the day tomorrow. And I'm also looking at the under on the Duke and Houston game. I think that may be a little too high at 134.5. I think Duke may struggle a little bit offensively to start. The reason that they scored so much last game was because McCain was going completely berserk. And I think Houston is a better defensive team, a better well-coached team to at least neutralize that a little bit. So I kind of like the under 134.5 for the Duke and Houston game tomorrow. Duke can obviously neutralize them a little bit to score a little bit less. Both teams last game had 2 people go off, and I don't think that's going to happen tomorrow. I really don't see both of these defensive teams let someone just go completely berserk tomorrow with 20 points in the first half, 15 in the first half. So my play tomorrow will be the NC State plus 6.5 or 7.5, wherever it lies. But I outside of that, I like the Duke under in that game.
Yeah, so I hate to do it right out the box. I don't agree. I like that you're taking the points. I think Marquette wins that game. I think they're just going to be more physical. I think Burns is going to come up against everything. But I like the points. The fact that you're taking the points, I can see. But I think Marquette wins that game. Do you think Marquette's going to win or NC State?
I mean, I'm taking the points, so I think Marquette can win the game, but I don't think they're winning the game by 7+.
Yeah, smart move. I don't know that I would. That's not something I'll be on. What I do think is like the Gonzaga Purdue at -5.5 is interesting, and I think that's that high because Purdue's been blowing people out. I think Gonzaga's going to make it a game. I think team continuity. I think down the stretch, I think they have better coaching. I think they have more continuity. I think they've been in that role, in that position longer than Duke. That's interesting, but that's not so much where I'm going. I go to Duke, Houston. When I look at that, I think this is where Flip is going to be the difference. I think when you look at Flip, he's going to get his. If the guards of Duke can keep up with Houston, I think Duke wins that game. I wouldn't put my money there either, though. I'm going all the way down to the late game. I'm going at Creighton, and I think Creighton would win money line. I wouldn't go money line because I think the juice isn't there, but I think Creighton covers the 2.5. I think Creighton beats Tennessee. I think the length will bother Creighton early from a shooting standpoint, but I think Creighton finds a way holistically from a coaching standpoint at halftime. Don't be surprised if you see this game 3 to 5 to 8 points. Creighton's down at half or up at half, and then they either take off or they overcome that deficit. I think Creighton wins that game outright. I just think Creighton's going to win that game. And I tell you what, I think there's a difference between athleticism and organized actual basketball programs with people who have played together for a matter of time. And when you look at Creighton, you look at 5 to 7 to 9 deep that they're going to throw at Tennessee. And I think when you see it get to 32 to 36 minutes and God forbid it go to overtime, I think you could see another Oregon massacre in overtime. I think the Big East is just built like that. So that's where my money is going. If I'm betting money and I'm betting it tomorrow, I'm going Creighton and I'm taking the 2.5 because the juice isn't much difference at. I think it's -5 versus the money line. So -110 to -115. And I'm taking the 2.5, and that's why I'm going. I think Creighton wins that game.
Nice. And yeah, I can't hate you guys for the Marquette. I would take North Carolina in the points. The points don't mean win, right? If you guys understand what I mean, right? You just need to win. I get you guys also looking at win. I think that's too many points.
If I like win, I like the points.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sometimes I'll take the points even if you're not going to win, right? I mean, Burns, exactly. I'll tell you now, Marquette doesn't have a big guy to handle Burns, so we'll see what they come out with, what coaching does. We'll see, right? It's going to be good. My game that I'm watching is that Houston-Duke game. Before Iowa State beat them in their conference final, they won 11 in a row. They're rolling, number one team in the nation, and just, I think they got a lot they feel they got to get back. And we'll see what Duke had a great game. McMahon came out and just, can he do that again? It's going to be a good game to watch, right? Because what are you going to need to do to beat Houston? Is he going to have that game again? Are people sleeping on Houston? It's a 3.5-point game. So I don't think that the books are. But to me, that's the best game tomorrow. I think the most entertaining game will be that one. The NC State Marquette, I think, is going to be a slow drag. But it'll be a good game, but it's not going to be I think the fist fight or the dog fight you're going to see with that Duke one. We'll see what Duke comes in Houston, but they're all good ones. I mean, there's not a bad matchup. I think the worst matchup was the first game of the night, the UConn San Diego State.
Yeah.
Really
so
go ahead.
So let's pump. I mean, I get Sach's take on this. Let's pump the brakes on Duke. It was JMU. Like, has Duke really been challenged this tournament? They've had the easiest path. Like, people was like, oh, shit, Duke's over in this region. They've had an easy – this is their first game. This is their first game.
Well, I would say Purdue had the easiest path. They went against Grambling and Utah State. I would say they had the easiest path.
But Utah State is ranked 18th in the nation, whereas But
no one's saying that. No one's saying that about UConn. UConn hasn't played anybody either. We're just saying they're a good team. Duke's playing who's in front of them. So let's to your point, now let's see what happens when they match up with Houston. I don't think they got a parade for Duke just yet started up, but I don't think we can have two different standards. Hey, some of these teams are rolling through the tournament squashing guys, and other ones are like, hey, they haven't beat anybody yet. No one's beaten anybody yet. When you look at the UConn, the Duke, Purdue, let's see what they do. But Duke has done what they needed to do, and the ball still has to go in the hoop. They still put the ball in the basket. McCain still scored. He was still, I get it. They're playing an inferior team in a sense, but a lot of sharps were all over JMU. It was a senior team. They've had the experience. They had the tournament experience. They're like, this is what people love in these games, and they smashed them. So I don't know. Like, it's just weird to say, hey, one and then not the other.
Tune in tomorrow, guys, for the early morning show as well as Ease Plays. We're gonna have some hot plays for the tournament to continue tomorrow, which I like. Like I said, me and Sach are pretty big on the NC State plus the points. So we'll throw that one out again. But if you can get now, it's plus 6.5 right now. And I know E's going to have some good plays tomorrow, guys. So you don't want to miss out on the social media accounts tomorrow. We're going to have NBA plays as well as NCAA March Madness plays. You guys are going to love them. It's going to be awesome. Tomorrow is going to be a great night of sports. Just wanted to throw out there real quick. Today was opening day for the MLB. I know it's another thing to add to our wheelhouse, some more plays to get out to all the viewers and listeners out there. And we definitely are going to add some more segments in this with Whit. Whit's our special MLB guy. He's our analyst and everything. So definitely want to get more segments out to the public and you guys with Whit, what he's seeing, Whit's inside brain. What has he got for us on the mound? So
I think early season you got to kind of lay off if you're doing money line. I think the over under of runs scored, etc. I think you're going to see some run production down. I think you're going to see pitchers. Glasnow, like we watched the Dodger game today. Glasnow he got off 6 innings. He's thrown 82 pitches. You're going to the bullpen. They're going to save the arms early. There's a lot of pitchers that aren't going to go. That's just the world we live in now. But at 82 pitches, you're probably going to see him go another inning in about a month and a half. So those are things you want to factor in. The other thing is you're going to see just these analytics things of like lefty-righty matchup. When you look at the Dodgers, you got Betts, and you really have Betts. You have Will Smith. Those are only 2 righties in the lineup. And the rest of them, they're going lefty because you got a righty on the mound. So once a reliever comes in, you got some other things. I think E's got, he's pretty sharp on the baseball. Don't give it. You go if you go east of the Missouri, man. I think you want to follow E. I stay a little bit more West Coast, but I think what you see is a lot of. You're going to want to look at the over unders. You're going to look at how many strikeouts. I think the strikeout to home run ratio things are big, but. Man, I think baseball has changed so much. I think you got to change the way you think. I think prop bets are a lot bigger in baseball than a lot of other sports. And I think those are things you'll see when we break down the analytics. You're not going to see money line. You're not going to see run differential. You'll see, hey, this pitcher is going to strike out 8+. This guy, it's just different things, man. The stolen base has become such a revolutionary thing. Everything benefits them. I think batting averages are up, obviously, because the shift rule changed. So you see a lot of people that got traded 2 years ago or released 2 years ago, Cody Bellinger being one, going to the Cubs, had a career year outside his MVP year in LA that you saw him bat over 300 while his power numbers were down. It's like, I can't put 7 people on the right side of the infield or outfield to stop that. So look for some things to come out. I think you'll see some things. I think the Yankees are an interesting story. Garrett Cole not being able to pitch. He's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks, it looks like. And even when they come back, I think you'll see them start them up. That's their ace. I think that's a tough division with Boston, the Orioles. I mean, that's a gauntlet to go through. I love the Yankees in the playoffs or in the contention. I don't like the Yankees personally, but baseball's better with them in. The NL West is going to be interesting. I think the Padres are going to be better than most expect. I think their starting pitching leaves a lot to be desired, but I think the Dodgers have gaps in their relievers. And I think that when you look at their Arizona Diamondbacks are going to be there again. I think they got better. And I think they play baseball the right way. And I think they move runners along and they score when they need to score. So from an NL West perspective, I'm super interested in that. And, man, I'm excited baseball's here. If you don't hear it in my voice, I talk about a lot of sports, but, man, I love me some baseball. So,
100%.
Yeah.
We'll definitely get it going to all the live viewers and listeners. We appreciate you guys being here. We'll definitely get some more Whit takes, Whit plays out for the MLB. Wrapping up on the show, guys, just want to say thank you to all the live listeners and viewers out there. Let's go trivia real quick because I know that's what people came to see, and we got a full house tonight, so we'll rock around with the trivia questions, starting with the Soch man.
All right. Who played the longest seasons, the most seasons in the NBA?
Who played the long?
Robert Parrish.
No.
Who has the most seasons?
Vincent Carter.
It's a Hall of Fame. Yeah, there you go. VC.
Who? Oh, Vince Carter, man.
So Carter. Vincent
how many?
Carter III.
How many?
22.
So how many did Parrish play?
I have no clue.
They played a lot, man.
What's Parrish's
That-
nickname?
The Big Chief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you got? What you got cooking up for us, Whit?
When was the last time the Dodgers won a World Series on their opening day in North America, and who did they beat?
Who did they?
When was the won the World Series in their first game?
Didn't-
I don't understand the question. Yeah,
When
Yeah,
did
he
the
had
nobody
when,
was
like 5 questions.
when was okay? Let me digress. It wasn't that hard of a question. When was the last time
What?
the Dodgers won a World Series? I had a follow on to that, but Eric fucked it all up. So when was the last time they won a World Series, and who did they beat? And I had a follow up question that prior to that, when was their prior World Series win, and who did they beat?
Didn't they won in the COVID year against the Tampa Bay Rays, right?
Good. And then prior to that, because we had an argument about this tonight. While I appreciate that, and I have Corey Seager was the MVP, and I have it on my wall over here. I love Corey Seager, one of my all-time favorite Dodgers. Got traded away. God bless his soul. Texas Rangers won it last year. I love you, Corey. But when did they win before that? And you two up top may not know this. And who did they beat? And Eric should know this because it was my first memory as a young kid and why I love the Dodgers so much.
they beat the Yankees.
No. If you ain't seen it, 1988, they beat the Oakland A's. They were heavily underdogs, and he hit the home run in the bottom of the ninth at Dodger Stadium. Kirk Gibson on a bum knee, game 1, and they won that series 4-1. They beat the Oakland A's, who had the Bash brothers, and the next year was the World Series that went to Oakland, the Bay Bridge series against the Giants when they had the huge earthquake, and the A's ended up getting over the hill and winning that year. But that team, the Oakland A's, were absolute ridiculous favorites, like insane. Dave Henderson, Mark McGwire, Jose Canseco, Carney Lansford, Ricky Henderson, Dave Stewart, Dennis Eckersley. Like that team was stacked, and the Dodgers beat them, and won a 4-1. So those are the last two. I've seen 2 championships in my year. One at 8 years old, and another one, in 2020. I'm hoping to see another one this year, and I can't wait, man. I'm excited for this year.
That's good. You saw 2 MLB ships. I saw 4 NBA ships. It's fun, bro. It's fun. It's so fun.
Dude, that and the Kentucky Derby, man. Who doesn't want to see a horse race? Who doesn't want to see a horse win the
I'm
Triple
saying,
Crown?
seeing your team win a ship is the most fun thing ever. You're on top of the world. I was blessed enough to see 4. Steph Curry win 4 for the Warriors. I was on top of the world, man.
It's even better when you're alive and you see your NFL team, the greatest sport in history.
Okay, come on. We're just picking. Now what are we doing? What are we doing?
Eric, I don't think Eric's
Buddy.
experienced this. And I think he'll agree with me. But hey, to you two up top, you young bucks, even greater than seeing the Dodgers win in '88 when I was 8 years old. My dad, my first sports memory, was seeing my Dodgers win in 2020 with my son. There ain't nothing better than seeing a ship with your son or your kid that's equally a fanatic as you. I'm telling you right now, you can be with your boys, blackout drunk in a bar. It will never be you and your boy. It just won't be that. So
that was like me and Zeej for the Avs. Me and him were hugging arms. We were happy. We were everything.
The Avs was cool.
Did you dance like at the other sports bar?
He's so full of shit. No one was dancing, bro.
Go ahead, E.
All right. Mine's a softball. But who has the most consecutive Sweet 16 appearances current?
Wait,
Current.
say it again. Say it again.
Who currently has the most consecutive Sweet 16 appearances?
Houston.
No.
Gonzaga,
Gonzaga.
Yeah,
Well,
that's a good one.
fucking Team Wit, bring it all night.
Oh.
We'll be down here in San Diego. 1 hour.
All
behind.
time.
That's great.
All time is UCLA, of course, and then UNC is second.
What was
That's
UCLA's run? What was UCLA's
14.
run?
14.
And what was that? 1940?
That was back with John Wooden.
Hey, what's Gonzaga's?
That's why I didn't ask that one. I asked for currently. I said, what's the current one?
What's Gonzaga?
So,
What's their
you
streak?
guys are all older than 9 years, so you should.
9
that?
years. 9 years. Gonzaga,
Yeah.
9 years. Man, Gonzaga's a program, man. As much as I don't like the state of Washington because they call themselves Washington State, they usually vote liberal. You know, you go just north of there, you can't pump the gas in the
They
state.
go liberal. God damn.
You know what I mean? But hey, Gonzaga's got a program.
I got a good one for you fellas tonight. I was checking the sports book this morning. I was looking up MVP odds for the NHL as well as the NBA. Nathan McKinnon and Nikola Jokic are the favorites right here. This will be, if they both get it, it will be the second time in history that two players from the same place on obviously different sports teams have won. Who was the first in history? So, right, they got to be in the same place, two different teams.
Magic Johnson and Wayne Gretzky.
That Whit, look at Whit go! Yeah, Whit. That's a good one.
Hey, feed me.
Wayne Gretzky and Magic Johnson, baby.
It's the year of wit.
Feed me.
Look at
Feed
wit.
me. Oh, I got that Zeke going.
Fuck. We don't want Zeke. Fuck.
Hey, did you get the time on that? Because that was short as hell.
That was quick.
That was a
And
good
you know
one.
what? I was probably in I was younger than 10 at that time. DJ,
That's a good one.
it was like playing the Oregon Trail back then. You know, we still had, you know what I mean?
There we go, ladies and gents. Thursday night, a little trivia for you guys. Let us know how you're feeling. But that will do it for tonight's episode, the Bet Champ Show After Hours. Guys, we will catch you Saturday for the Parlay Show. We're going to have a hot one going. I already know my play for Saturday's show, and I'm absolutely loving it. I know the boys are going to have some zingers as well. And as well as you can catch me and Sach tomorrow, 6 a.m. We're going to have some NBA player props for you guys, as well as some NCAA March Madness plays. We're going to fire those out to you guys and tune in for Wits plays and big things coming with the show, guys. We always appreciate you being here, all the live viewers and listeners. I see you up above. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we'll do a quick around the room from the fellas.
Nah, I mean, March Madness plays are going good. I think E is about to go 1-1, hopefully. The North Carolina's up pretty good. And then, we couldn't get on this morning, but, you know, we're here every day, and, you know, we're going to look forward to tomorrow. Got a bunch more March Madness games and NBA, so look forward to it.
Yeah, so hey, 2-0 today. Obviously got the point spread with UConn. I don't think that was a no-brainer, so we'll go there. I had the Dodgers with the run spread. I think tomorrow what you want to look at is I'm going to go Dodgers again. I know it's minus 210. You got Bobby Miller. He's at home. First start of the year, hard thrower. Second year in the league, changed his number to 28 from 77, so you know he's a staple. The dude was an absolute blue chip. I think what you'll see tomorrow is the dude throws 98 to 101 fastball. As long as he's got command of that, I don't know that the Cardinals catch up this early in the season. So you can go minus 110, minus 210, or you can take the money line at minus 240. If you want to lay off it, but it's worth taking a $40, $100 thing and get you a 40 to, whatever return you want to get. But you bet what you can. But I think the Dodgers cover that tomorrow. I think Bobby Miller goes strong. They usually go into the later innings. He's a young arm. So I like that one. In addition, I told you guys my Creighton play. I'll probably put something out here more live. I like Creighton to cover the 2.5. I think they win outright, but I'll take the points even if they don't win. I think that game's going to overtime, or it's going to be some. I think Tennessee will stifle them early in the first half with their length from the outside shooting. But at the end of the day, I think Creighton's a more solidified team. I think they have better coaching, better program, and I think ultimately they advance on. So what do we call it here? The Elite Eight, but we call it here what, the Grade 8? Is that what Sox?
Grade 8.
Yeah, the Grade 8. So I think I like Creighton. So that's where my money will be. But if you want to get a little bit more feisty, go with the Dodgers. I know you got to bet a little more to win some, but I like Bobby Miller, and I think you'll see him be the ace and the open day starter next year, 2025, and you bookmark that, and I bet you'll see it.
Nice. Yeah, 1-1. UConn play didn't get out. We had some technical difficulties, so we're good. Get on the social medias tomorrow. We're going to collect some more. Like I told you guys, we're stacking that cash wall to wall, treetop tall. So, something to leave you with. I appreciate
Hey,
that,
my
son.
son loves that one. He's like wall to wall, treetop tall. You know,
Yes.
he's like, hey, you must be just riffing. My man just
Something
must
to
have
leave you
riffed
guys
that.
with. Last night, Mitch Robinson returned to the Knicks. 8 points, 2 blocks, 2 assists, and a 44-point win over the Rap over Toronto. But more importantly, they took over third place, and they're 2 games behind Milwaukee for the second place in the East. The team's legit. I'm not saying they're winning, they're going all out and winning, but they're doing the right stuff. Randall's practicing, OG's practicing. Hopefully they'll put something together. But it was just good to see and have them. And now it's by a half a game, and they can lose it again. But at least they did get that bump up. Cleveland seems to be on a different trajectory. So overall, yesterday, today's good days, man.
Those Villanova boys are different. Those Villanova boys are different, bro.
Yes.
I have
Yes.
never seen a guard like Josh Hart. His rebound prop was at 13.5. I have never seen that. Never seen it.
And that's with Hartenstein and Robinson playing. They're playing in the game, and you still have a guard with a rebound. But all 3 of them are ballers. That's just what I mean. They went out and got the right team and the right players.
They
and
really did.
It's the city.
I mean, they're scary.
Everything. Yeah. So
They're scary.
Hey, E, can you tell us what the picture behind you is tonight?
Oh, that's Mr. Krabs, dollar bills. We're all about that money, you know. Got the gold grill above them as well, but really it's just Mr. Krabs, and again, wall to wall, treetop tall. That's what ZJ said our mission is. So,
100%, ladies and this is the BCS After Hours edition, guys. Appreciate all you guys. We'll catch you tomorrow for the early odds and lines and shooting out some more plays to you guys. It's all about positive money here on the BCS, and we'll catch you guys next time.